Good morning students, hope you all are doing good. In today's class, we are going to see a very new and interesting topic. So, the topic is lesson 1, the heavenly parasol. Okay, so the topic is the heavenly parasol. So, what is a parasol? So, here you find the word parasol. So, what do you mean by parasol? Okay students, so I just draw a image here. Just see the image or the picture. So what is this picture? Yes, it is a umbrella. So parasol is nothing but a umbrella. Okay, it is a umbrella, a lightweight umbrella. So have you seen these parasols? Like in the king times, the kings used to use such huge parasol to protect him from sunlight, even during going for warfare, also in the chariot. Okay, in the king's chariot, there used to be a huge umbrella. So that is called as a parasol, okay, which is lightweight. Okay, a parasol is nothing but a umbrella. Okay, in olden days where kings used to have the parasol in their chariots, okay, to protect themselves from sunlight. Fine. So a parasol is nothing but a lightweight umbrella. So here we are going to see in this lesson, we are going to see how a heavenly parasol, okay, from heavens a parasol had come, an umbrella had come, and it cast its shadow on a great king. Okay, and the king's name is Meghavahana. Okay, the king's name is Meghavahana. So the parasol, how did the parasol cast the shadow on Meghavahana, and it was blessing Meghavahana with its shadow. Okay, with its heavenly powers, the parasol was blessing Meghavahana, and it was favoring Meghavahana for his nobility. Okay, the king was very noble, so to favor him, okay, to bless him, the heavenly parasol, the parasol which was sent from heaven, it was blessing Meghavahana. So we will see the story on Meghavahana and read the first paragraph for you. Listen to me carefully, students. Lesson, the heavenly parasol. The first paragraph. There was once a beautiful princess in the town of Prajotisha called Amrita Prabha. So in the town, okay, what was the town name? The town name is Prajotisha. So over there, the town name was called as Prajotisha, and there was a princess, okay, and her name, she was very beautiful, and the princess name was Amrita Prabha. When she came of age, so it was her age to get married. Okay, so she was very beautiful, and now it is the age for her to get married. The king held a Swayamvara to enable to choose her husband. Okay, so the prince's father, okay, Amrita Prabha's father, he held a Swayamvara. So in the olden days, if the queen, if the princess wants to marry, okay, so that time a Swayamvar will be held. As in the Swayamvar, the king, the prince of various kingdom, okay, used to come to the palace, and the girl, okay, the bride will be choosing her groom. So that is called as a Swayamvar. Many illustrious suitors, lured by tales of Amrita Prabha's beauty, assembled there. So illustrious means many respected suitors. Suitors is nothing but a man who wants to marry a particular woman. So illustrious means respected people, respected men, okay, from all over the world, okay, from many kingdoms had come for the Swayamvar, and they were lured. Okay, lured means they were tempted. Okay, they used to hear the stories of Amrita Prabha's beauty. So listening to all that, they were tempted by the beauty of Amrita Prabha, and they assembled at the Swayamvar. So next what happened? Among them was Meghavahana. So Meghavahana also was one among the people, one among the suitors who had come to the Swayamvar. The great grandson of a former king of Kashmir. Okay, he was a great grandson of a former king in Kashmir. Amrita Prabha shyly cast her eyes over the court and wondered whom she would choose. So Amrita Prabha, she was seeing every man who have come to the Swayamvar. She was shyly seeing it. She was having a smile in her eyes and she was blushing, and she was seeing all the men who came for this Swayamvar, and she was choosing who will be the correct man for her. To Meghavahana's surprise, the princess stopped before him and put the garland around his neck. So Meghavahana was shocked, okay, when Amrita Prabha, she came and stood before him and she put the garland on his neck. The Meghavahana was shocked seeing that. He rose to his feet, unable to contain his joy. He was very joyous. He was very happy. Okay, he just stood up there itself, and he cannot contain his joy. He was that very happy that Amrita Prabha got married to him. She chose Meghavahana as her king. The couple moved forward to seek the king's blessing. So they went forward to seek the blessings of the king. Okay, they went to seek the blessing of Amrita Prabha's father's blessings. As the king stepped down from his throne, the priest cried out in surprise. So the king came down from his throne where he is seated. So that is called as throne. Okay, where the king gets seated. So that place is called as a throne. From there he got down and he was coming. And suddenly there was a loud cry. Okay, suddenly the priest, okay, one of the priests, he started to say something loudly in a surprise. He cried loudly in surprise. Your honor, the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over the prince. Okay, so there was a parasol. Okay, there was a parasol, that was an umbrella. It cast means to appear. Okay, the parasol just appear over the prince, above the prince. Okay, so the parasol cast its shadow. Okay, it appeared above the prince, over the prince. So it was a parasol of Varuna. Okay, it was from heaven. It was a parasol of Varuna. Varuna is the lord of seas. Okay, so it was very great to Meghavahana to have the parasol which is of god Varuna's. So here the priest was crying in surprise, telling this to the king. Is it true? Exclaimed the king. So he was very surprised. Even the king was very surprised. He said, is it true? My son, you are favored by the gods. So the king said to Meghavahana that you are favored by God. Meghavahana looked up in surprise. Even Meghavahana was surprised what's happening, why the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over him. So he was very surprised, wondering at the meaning of these words, and he was very he doesn't know the meaning of these words. He was wondering, he was confused. All at once he saw by his side a beautiful dazzling white parasol with exquisite decoration that was casting its shadow over him. So the parasol, okay, it was beautiful and dazzling. Okay, the parasol which was over him, it was beautiful and dazzling. Dazzling means extremely bright. Okay, the parasol was extremely bright with exquisite decoration. Exquisite means beautiful and delicate decoration. Okay, there was beautiful decorations on the parasol, and it was casting its shadow over Meghavahana. This is the parasol of Varuna, the lord of seas, explained the king. So Meghavahana was confused, right? What is happening? So the king explained to him, this is the parasol of Varuna. It is the lord of seas. Varuna is the lord of seas. You are destined for glory and brilliance. So the king said that you are destined. Destined means a particular fate. Okay, your fate is for destined to glory and brilliance. Glory means high renown. Okay, you are going to achieve many things in your life. So this parasol is the symbol of your glory and brilliance, he said. Dazed by these portents and by his good fortune, Meghavahana brought his bride and the divine parasol back home. So he was dazed, he was unable to think. Okay, dazed means he was unable to think by these portents, okay, by these wonderful things. Okay, it was a wonderful things happening to him on that day because he got married to Amrita Prabha, and also the heavenly parasol, the parasol of Varuna, is casting its shadow over him. So he is dazed by these wonderful things happening to him. So he is thinking about his good fortune. Okay, good fortune is the luck. Okay, he got the luck on that day. So he brought his bride Amrita Prabha and the parasol to his home. Back home, he brought his bride and the parasol. Upon his return, the minister of Kashmir court sought him out and offered the throne to him. So when he returned back from the Swayamvar, the minister of Kashmir. So what did the minister of Kashmir do? He sought him the throne. Okay, he gave Meghavahana the throne. Okay, he was made the king of Kashmir. So what did the minister say? We are dissatisfied with our present ruler, they said. So the minister of Kashmir said that they are dissatisfied, they are not satisfied with the present ruler. He has devoted himself to a life of prayer and the affairs of the kingdom lie neglected. So the king who was before the king who was there, he was devoted himself to prayer. Okay, his life he has given. Devoted means he is loyal. Okay, he is being loyal to prayers and all that, but he is not giving any importance to the affairs of the kingdom. Okay, which is happening, the events which is happening to the kingdom. For that he is giving total negligence. Okay, negligence means he is avoiding the affairs of the kingdom and he has devoted his life to prayers. The people suffer because of this. So due to this, because of the king's negligence, the people of the kingdom are suffering. Your noble character and bravery are well known in these parts. So they said to Meghavahana that your noble character, you are very noble and you are very brave. So the whole part of this kingdom know about you. Honor us and the land by accepting our offer. So the minister said that you honor us by accepting the throne as a king of Kashmir. Meghavahana became the king of Kashmir. So now what happened? Meghavahana, he became the king of Kashmir. Soon he proclaimed a law against the killing of living beings. So after he became a king of Kashmir, soon he proclaimed means he announced officially. Okay, he made a official announcement that no living being should be killed. Okay, no living being should be killed. So this was a law he proclaimed. It became his ambition to conquer other kingdoms to impose this law on them as well. So later he started to conquer, he take control over other kingdoms. He waged war and he took control over the other kingdoms, and the same law that no living being should be harmed or they should not be killed. So this law was imposed. Imposed means it was forced. Okay, it was forced by Meghavahana to implement this law in their kingdom as well. Once while on an expedition near the sea, the king told his wary army to rest in the shade of some palm groves. So Meghavahana was on an expedition. Expedition means journey. So what is the meaning of expedition? Expedition means journey or voyage. Okay, he was on an expedition, that is a journey near the sea, and his men, okay, the king's men were weary. Weary means tired. Okay, weary means they were tired. They were tired, and Meghavahana told his king's men to take rest in the palm groves. So palm groves is nothing but, have you seen trees which looks exactly like coconut trees, but they are not coconut trees. So they look similar to coconut trees. So they are called as a palm groves. So he told his men to take rest there. I must use this time to plan a way to conquer the island of Lanka. So now he is using this time to plan. Okay, he is using a plan in his mind to conquer which place? To conquer Lanka. Okay, to conquer Lanka. So now he has taken this expedition. Now he has taken this voyage to conquer Lanka. He thought it is the land of demons and needs to be taught the ways of peace. So Meghavahana thought the land of Lanka is a place where demons live. Okay, demons means people who kill the humans, okay, or the living beings. So he thought that it is a place where demons live. So he should conquer that place and teach the people in Lanka what is peace. So that is why he wanted to conquer the place Lanka. But how will I cross the great seas with my army? But there was a huge sea, right? So between India and Sri Lanka there is a seas. Okay, on the three sides also there are seas. So if you want to go to Lanka, he should cross the sea and then only he can go there. So he was thinking how can he go to Lanka and conquer that place. So when he was thinking, all of a sudden there was a cry in the air. So when he was rushing there with his army men and he was planning how to conquer Lanka, suddenly there was a huge cry. Okay, suddenly he heard a very huge noise. It seemed to come from a wood by the shore. So wood is nothing but a densely populated forest. Okay, so inside the forest which was near the shore. Okay, if there is a sea, so this is called as shore, where there is sand, right? So that place is called as a shore. So near there was a woods, okay, densely forest. So from there the sound was coming. Not far from where the royal horses were tethered. Okay, so near the place where royal horses were tethered. Tethered means tied. Okay, they were tied the royal horses near those woods. So from there, okay, from nearby somewhere there, the huge noise was coming. The cry came again, and the king heard the plaintive call. Plaintive call. Plaintive call means it was sounding sad. Okay, it was out of sorrow and sad. Somebody is crying that they are making loud noise. Even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain. So I am Meghavahana here and I am the ruler of this place, and I have imposed a law that no human being or living being should be harmed or should be killed. But then too such noises coming. So he was in that kind of thought. He was slain. Okay, he was very slain. He was thinking about that. And later in his agitation, so he was disturbed by that sound. The king did not wait to summon his officers but ran towards the wood. Okay, what happened? The king he did not wanted to disturb his officers there. Okay, the people whoever came with the king, he did not wanted to wait for them. Okay, he just ran to the woods. Okay, before they would come with him to support him, but he did not wait for anybody. He just ran to the woods because he was disturbed by the noise. Plunging through the undergrowth, he fought his way till he came to a clearing. Plunging means, have you seen in the military officers and all, if they want to give training, they will just sleep on the floor and they will just move with their arms, right? So using their arms, they will crawl on the floor and they just go. So in the same way, Meghavahana also, he just plumbed. Plumb means falling steeply. Okay, to fall steeply, and with the help of his arms, he was clear. Okay, there was too much of bushes. Okay, in the forest there was too much of bushes and trees. So until it was clear, he was crawling. There before him was a temple of Chandika, that is Durga, with some sort of human sacrifice in progress on the steps. So when he came to that place, he saw a temple, and that temple is of Chandika. Okay, Chandika is the goddess Durga, and it was of Durga's temple, and there was some human sacrifice going on. Okay, some human sacrifice was taking place near the steps of the temple. A man lay on the ground, his arms raised for mercy, and a menacing-looking barbarian stood over him, brandishing his sword. So now what happened? What scene did Meghavahana see? There was a man, okay, a man. He was laying on ground. He was just sleeping on the ground, and his hands were tied. Okay, his hands were tied, raised, and it was tied. And there was a menacing-looking barbarian. There was a dangerous-looking barbarian. Barbarian means a cruel human being. Okay. So, barbarian means a cruel human being. Okay, he was looking very dangerous, and he was a cruel human being, and he was brandishing. Okay, brandishing means he was sharpening his sword. Okay, to kill the man, he was sharpening his sword. Fine. So this is the scene Meghavahana saw. So after this, what happened? Why was the man was going to kill that the victim? We will see it in the next class, students. And how did Meghavahana, did he save that man or did he let him die? So we will see this in the next class. Now I am going to end my session. Take care. Thank you and bye.